Hi, everyone. I'm Kristen Cho.
And I'm Cameron Word.
Thank you so much for joining us. On Saturday, we do like to do something a little bit different. Instead of looking at a dialogue, we look at, a topic.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And the topic today is about chocolate. Now, who doesn't like chocolate?
Demi Moore.
No.
I saw an interview.
Really?
And she was like, I don't ever have cravings for chocolate.
Yeah.
Which is probably why she looks so young.
Yeah.
But she's the first person in my life that I've seen
Yeah.
that doesn't really like chocolate.
Can I be honest with you?
Yes, please.
I might be the Korean Demi Moore.
You don't... What?
I might be. I eat it if it's there, but I really never crave it.
Kristen.
I know.
The Korean Demi Moore.
I'm the Korean Demi Moore.
That's a great title to have.
I know. I like that title.
Are you good at crying? You know how Demi Moore can cry with one eye?
I think I can do it. I think I can do it.
Oh.
So the thing about chocolate, they say that dark chocolate's very good for you. It's got a lot of polyphenols. But they're finding out that there are a lot of heavy metals.
Heavy metal, like the song, the music? The music genre?
It's heavy metal is 중금속.
Yes.
Okay? So there are these heavy metals in chocolate. So like cadmium and lead.
Cadmium, not...
Yes, that's right.
Wow.
There's been a lot of articles. I've actually come across these articles many years ago, and now it's becoming more and more, well known. So we'll talk about that. We'll see if this is going to make a difference. For all the chocolate lovers, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but I am concerned about your health. So please listen up. Here are some expressions that we're going to cover. If there is a string, S-T-R-I-N-G, of something, what does this mean?
This means there's a series of, there are a lot of something, all connected.
Okay, very good. How about on the whole?
In general, for the most part, yes.
Okay, and in moderation?
This means not to do too much or to do little. Just kind of a middle, like a moderate, like a medium amount.
Okay, very good. Let's go ahead and listen to our article.
The latest in a string of studies on toxins in chocolates found high levels of lead and cadmium, heavy metals that are harmful to humans. In the study, researchers tested dark chocolate bars, cocoa powders, and chocolate nibs to see if they met the limits of heavy metal contamination according to California law. On the whole, the levels were not so high that the average person should worry about eating chocolates in moderation. One researcher said that you should only be worried if dark chocolates are a part of your daily routine.
Okay, so please join us on page 4. You can see our power article there.
Page 14.
14, I'm sorry. Should we worry about heavy metals in chocolate? The latest in a string of studies on toxins in chocolates found high levels of lead and cadmium, heavy metals that are harmful to humans. Now, here, there have been a string of studies, not just one or two, a string of.
Yes.
And that's our expression.
So a string of means several, and the feeling is that they come out right after one another.
One after the other.
Yeah, 연속으로 나오는 거죠.
Oh, yes.
So a string of studies means there have been several studies that have come out recently all together.
Right. So it's basically saying that there are a lot of studies.
Or at least several. Maybe not a lot, but more than 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Like there are enough of these studies that it is worth talking about.
Okay. In the study, researchers tested dark chocolate bars, cocoa powders, and chocolate nibs to see if they met the limits of heavy metal contamination according to the California law. Okay. California law, there is a law that puts a limit that monitors the contamination of these heavy metals in foods.
Yes.
So, first of all, contamination. Let's look at that word, metal contamination.
Yeah, so this contamination, in Korean you'd say something like 오염, right?
Mm-hmm.
So 오염 can also mean something like pollution, but pollution is usually used for the environment as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
Contamination is often used for food. Mm-hmm. Something that's in food that should not be there got in there. In this case, heavy metal contamination.
Okay, so they tested these, chocolate bars, cocoa powders, all of that to see how much was contaminated. What does it say?
On the whole, the levels were not so high that the average person should worry about eating chocolates in moderation.
Okay. On the whole, W-H-O-L-E. On the whole is our expression.
Yes. On the whole means altogether or in general.
Okay.
So if we look at all of this together, it's fine, but it isn't said in the sentence, but it's kind of implied there may be some exceptions, right? So on the whole, yeah, it's fine, but there may be times when it is not fine.
Okay, so on the whole, the levels were not so high. So it is that what you just said. Oh, it's not so high.
Yeah.
That we have to worry.
Yes.
Okay. In moderation.
Yes.
Yeah, you have to eat, but you have to eat chocolates in moderation.
Yes, so this word in moderation means not too much. And it's often used for things that if you do eat too much or do too much, it can be very damaging to your health often. So you could have this with chocolate eating, chocolate consumption.
Yeah.
Things like we talk about alcohol in moderation,
right?
Because that is something that can also damage your body. But even things like exercise in moderation.
Sure, too much is not good.
Too much exercise can be very bad for your body as well.
Right.
So we say do those things in moderation to get the benefit or at least not hurt yourself.
Right, in have a balanced view of things. But when you're talking about food or putting things inside your body, and you always want to practice moderation.
Yes.
I think if you go too far right or too far left, it can be damaging.
Exactly.
Okay. One researcher said that you should only be worried if dark chocolates are a part of your daily routine. Okay. Now, this is a little bit worrisome. I'm a little worried because a lot of people are saying dark chocolate is really good for you. It does this and that and this. And some people may have it every day. But researchers are saying, they're kind of worried.
Yes.
If it is a part of your daily routine, that is our pattern.
So if something is a part of your daily routine, it means that you do it every day. It's a habit that you do every single day.
Right.
So it could be a good thing like exercising, and it could be something like eating chocolate, which unfortunately, I know people that do eat dark chocolate every day because they think it is healthy.
Right.
So if these studies are coming out with these bad things in the chocolate, it might be something to rethink.
Yeah.
Right? Well, it's like, remember when I was growing up, everyone was saying that, for example, red wine was very healthy.
Right.
And you should drink it every day.
Oh, my.
And now there are reports saying, maybe we shouldn't be doing that. Too much sugar and the alcohol and all that.
Pesticide,
so we have to be careful with anything that we are eating every single day because we never know when research will come out when something bad.
It's interesting. I mean, as much as it tastes good in my mouth, for some reason my body is not really happy with chocolate.
Yeah, I think there are like
especially dark
tannins or different things.
Well, it's very high in oxalates too. So I had kidney stones. And so that's kind of, so I think everybody should just know their bodies and know what you can handle.
Right, yeah. I mean, it's not saying that nobody can have chocolate ever.
Yeah.
But I think we do need to listen to our bodies.
Sure. Yeah, that's right. Okay, let's go ahead and listen to that one more time.
The latest latest in a string of studies on toxins in chocolates found high levels of lead and cadmium, heavy metals that are harmful to humans. In the study, researchers tested dark chocolate bars, cocoa powders, and chocolate nibs to see if they met the limits of heavy metal contamination according to California law. On the whole, the levels were not so high that the average person should worry about eating chocolates in moderation. One researcher said that you should only be worried if dark chocolates are a part of your daily routine.
It's time for Power Note. Please join us on pages 16 and 17. A string of something is a series of something. Something that happens one after another. 연속으로.
Yes.
Okay. Why did you install extra locks on your door?
Because there have been a string of burglaries recently.
Isn't this a very common usage? A string of burglaries or theft?
Yes.
Yes.
So this is when there are several crimes happening.
Yeah.
And it's quite a few, but I think it's important to kind of note that these crimes aren't happening at the same time.
No.
Right? Mm-hmm. So a string of these burglaries means that they didn't happen all in the same night. Kind of maybe every week there was one that came up.
Or every other day.
And it's just boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
Like, it just keeps happening at a very regular interval.
Right. I mean, when you see those crime or thriller movies, it's like a string of murders in that particular town.
Yeah.
So this is how it's often used, this expression, a string of.
Yes.
It's kind of dark.
A string of different, crimes.
Yeah.
A string of burglaries, a string of murders.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, here's another example. This summer, there have been a string of new movies about the Civil War. Yeah,
movies come out. Honestly, I think movies come out every single weekend now at this point.
Yeah, I know. But if you say a string of animation films, it kind of does have to be in the same area or group. I feel.
I would think if you're going to say a string of with movies, you're probably talking about within a month or 2 months. It's just bam, 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 bam. They all come out.
Okay, very good. A string of. You know, you could also say a string of lies.
Oh, yes. Someone who's just constantly lying. Like they're pretending, they have a fake identity.
Yeah.
And they're pretending to be someone else.
Yeah, their whole life is a string of lies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you're dating someone, and then you realize that they're not rich.
Right.
And not royalty from the Middle East.
A string of lies.
Just a string of lies.
Yes, okay. On the whole, which means in general, 전반적으로, right? For the most part. How was the weather on your vacation?
It was nice on the whole, but it got cold on the last day.
Right. I always feel like on the whole it's good. On the whole, it wasn't that great. But there's a but.
Right. So with this on the whole, it means there is an exception. So
yes.
90% it was this way, 10% it was not.
That's right. All right. So here, the weather was nice on the whole, but it got cold on the last day. One exception. It's a beautiful city on the whole, except for the area near the port. So it's all great. Yeah. There's just this one area.
Yeah, that port, so much trash.
Yeah.
So much seagull poop.
Yes!
Just the smell. Oh.
You know, speaking of seagull poop, my junior high school and high school was near Venice Beach.
Okay.
So our cafeteria area, or like the sitting area, we would get seagulls. We would get pooped on all the time. All the time. So the thing at lunchtime was to grab a table that was covered.
Like an
with
umbrella?
a roof. Umbrella or a roof. Yeah, because if you're sitting out on the benches with no cover, there's a good chance of seagull poop on your head.
That's so funny.
Oh, yeah, this is very common. Yeah. Okay, so on the whole. Let's give one more example using on the whole.
So if we were talking about a movie, on the whole, I love the movie.
You did.
But that ending was awful. You ever have that? Like, you think the movie is great.
Yeah.
And then the way they decide to end it kind of just ruins the whole movie.
It does. So I feel like the ending is important.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if it just ruins the whole, it's a last impression of the movie.
Yes. It's only like maybe 10% of the movie, but it determines everything else.
I mean, it doesn't have to be a happy ending,
Right.
but it just has to be a nice ending.
Right. Like,
Yeah.
Did you watch Lost, that TV show
Oh, yes.
in the past? Did you watch it from beginning to end?
Not to end.
The end, it was like the most disappointing end ever.
I heard.
So many people were mad.
I know.
Right?
'Cause
On the whole, it was such a great series.
I know.
And
I
then...
know. So I feel like that's something that we can learn, is that you better have a good ending so it leaves a good impression.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. In moderation means not to an excessive degree.
Yes.
To find a balance.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any vices? VICES.
I enjoy red wine, espresso, and dark chocolate in moderation.
Okay. What are vices?
Vices are bad things.
Yeah.
Bad habits.
Bad habits.
Right? So there are not anything good. So it could be eating. It could be related to certain
Habits.
bad habits. Yeah.
We ate in moderation, so we wouldn't be too full to go dancing.
Mm.
Okay. Eating in moderation, not easy.
Yes.
Especially if it's good.
I know. Once you start, you can't stop.
No.
It's true. So with this phrasing, in moderation, of course it means to not do too much, but it also means to not do too little.
Yes.
So this moderate here is talking about being in the middle.
Okay, yes.
Right?
That's right.
So it's not about not doing it at all.
Okay.
It's only about doing it a little bit.
Good point. Okay, power pattern. If it is part of your daily routine, it means that you do it every day. You should make meditation part of your daily routine.
Writing my journal is part of my daily routine.
That's true, right?
Yes. I mean, now I don't know if I do it every day now, but
Yeah.
4 days out of the week, 5
Yeah.
days out of the week.
Right. I mean, brushing your teeth as part of your daily routine, I feel like that's just something we all do. But it's something outside of that. Your basic kind of things that you do on a...
Right. So these, most often when you are using this expression, it's not things like taking a shower.
Yeah, right.
They aren't things that like
Washing your
just
face.
everyone does.
Yeah.
It is some kind of special or unexpected activity that you do every day.
Very good. Okay, check out our power vocab on page 18, contamination. And that is a wrap for today. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.